Before we get started, I do want to apologize in advance. My mic stand broke, so now I have a whole other setup and I cannot use my pop filter. So like my P's and my B's are going to sound like really like poppy, and I'm sorry. Doom fans, welcome back to the channel. Now, I know in our last video, we went over some patch notes and we discussed basically the state of the Mancubus, and I was completely in favor of it. And that was way before I actually started playing because, guys, I think we may have a little bit of a problem. So let's talk about the balancing and the state of battle mode, especially because the competitive mode is actually being discussed and apparently is on the way. And we are in a pretty weird state with battle mode where a lot of things are still kind of like, I'm not sure if we're competitive ready just yet, at least not with the current state of it. So I'm going to be talking a lot about a lot of things, right? This is more of a rant. There is no script. I'm just kind of going with it. But like, check me out, yo. This Mancubus, as you guys can see right now, I need y'all to realize I don't even play Demon. And nonetheless do I not play Mancubus. Nobody in their right mind would play Mancubus, because before the patch, and the reason why I was so in favor of it, was that the Mancubus had nothing to make you respect him, right? If a Mancubus was in your lobby, that was 9 times out of 10 the first demon you were going to get out of the way, because you know he is no problem. The Mancubus has this huge health pool that did not matter because the Slayer's insta-swapping meta basically broke the Mancubus down into pieces, and the Mancubus can't do anything because he has no defensive options, right? All he has is a flamethrower, his guns, a smoke, and the ability to double jump, and he cannot fire while he's double jumping, which to me is ridiculous, but whatever, right? So there is no real way to make a Slayer respect you as a Mancubus. You cannot do it. So here comes this patch, and I'm sitting here like, yo, this might be a good thing, because finally a Slayer will think twice before he runs into a situation where he's toe-to-toe with the Mancubus, you know, because that makes sense. If you're gonna have something be this big, this slow, you know, like, it has to have something about it that can just make it like, yo, I might die fast, but you don't want this smoke. But like, no, the Mancubus did not have that. But now with this patch, yes, he does, but maybe that wasn't the right idea. So if you guys did not see my video covering what happened with the Mancubus, right, long story short, what they did was they gave him a resistance to the ballista, so it goes from 550 to 250 for the damage from the ballista, and they basically buffed all of his attack options. So his projectile speed is higher, his fire rate is higher, the damage output on direct and splash is higher, the flamethrowers are more powerful. Like, he is really strong. Even his smoke pellets do more damage. Like, when he shoots smoke, it does damage, believe it or not. Like, not like area of effect, but just like direct hit, right? So like, that does more damage, and that is insane, right? So everything that he does more damage, and he is resistant to the ballista, and he's the only demon that has that property, right? So that's cool. But my whole thing is just this, though. Because of that resistance, the Slayer doesn't really have a lot of options. I found, like, don't get me wrong, guys, I know for us, like, high-level Slayers, there are ways around the Mancubus, but you cannot sit here and act like that Mancubus is by himself not a problem. If you see the Mancubus, like, now it's to the point you have to be really careful about him, because it's like, yo, the damage output on him is really high. And I mean, guys, like, let the clips speak for themselves. Like, I can't even begin to explain to you what's happening or what needs to change. I'm just in a position where I think that the Mancubus, before we start releasing competitive mode, needs a complete rework, because I don't want the Mancubus to just be trampled over. I'm not saying let's revert back to what he was before, but what I am saying is that he can't be this strong to the point where I can literally 1v1 good Slayers. That should not be a thing, because let's talk about balancing. Demons, I understand this. Y'all do not like the insta-swapping meta that comes from a Slayer. I completely understand. It's a lot of damage and you kind of die really fast, right? Here's what you need to realize, though. There are 2 of you and 1 Slayer. Now, I know high-level demons, y'all don't think like this. I'm just talking to the general battle mode community, especially on console. I don't know what PC is like. I'm only talking for console right now, right? You guys need to realize, like, I hear you guys always talk shit about me, right? Every time I beat somebody as a Slayer, the first thing they say is, oh, I can hear that ballista insta-swapping combo from a mile away. Oh, there he goes, ballista super shotgun. All Slayers play the same. It's never different. You need to realize something. We have to find a way to capitalize on doing as much damage as possible, because you need to realize there's 2 of you. It's supposed to be balanced for a 2v1 situation. That's why it's like that. You have 2 different demon summons that you can make on the fly, which you can use as a shield, you can use to trap me, you can use for so many things. You have a choice between a heal field or a toxic field. Either way, it forces my hand to either make me more aggressive or more passive, depending on what you're looking for. You basically control the flow of the battle, and if I happen to kill you or your teammate, one of y'all have to hide for 20 seconds, and y'all can infinitely respawn, even if the match goes on for 40 minutes. It doesn't even matter. So the Slayer has to capitalize on as much damage as possible. However, I don't believe with that regard that, you know, the Slayer should just be out here just trampling over shit. I don't think that any demon should be so weak that the Slayer can literally just like stare at it and it's gone, because that was how the Mancubus was before this whole patch came out. There was nothing to respect. I feel the same way about the Revenant. When you see the Revenant flying around, he's so non-intimidating because it's like, bro, I will break you in a second. Who is your partner? The only demons there are to really fear is the Pain Elemental and the Archvile, because of their shield game, because of their keep out game, and because of how hard they are to catch, and especially if they're rocking a heal field. Those demons are the only demons to be afraid of. But literally every other demon you kind of look at like, yo, do you take me as a joke or something? You know, and then you get the Mancubus, and the Mancubus is just kind of like, now he's like really a god tier pressure class. You know what I mean? Like, he's really high in pressure. And when you couple the Mancubus with another Mancubus, you got a fucking problem. When you couple the Mancubus with an Archvile, you got a fucking problem. And it's becoming to a point now that double Mank and Mank Archie are like becoming a meta, because people realize now, yo, this Mancubus is really strong. He's not what he used to be. There are some people who don't pay attention to, like, you know, Slayers Club or YouTube channels and don't realize that the Mancubus has changed, but it's hard to really get around this because of just like how much they have going on for themselves. Now, when we start talking about battle mode, the idea of battle mode is supposed to be strategy, right? It's supposed to be chess. It's supposed to be, you know, some thinking, mind gamey, kind of like the way I call it, a fighter and a shooter. But this isn't that at all, because when you pick, you know, a Mancubus, the Mancubus mitigates the amount of skill that the demons have to use to kill the Slayer because of all of his options now, right? He's still as vulnerable as he ever been. He doesn't have anything defensively, but he does so much damage that in a way it acts as defense, right? And he has so much health on top of it, and he's resistant to your best combination. So it forces you, okay, and this is one thing I hate about on console, right? Because for a PC, that's not a problem, because there's a thing you can do. Combat shotgun, you use the grenades, you go double down, bigger boom, you use your shoulder grenades, right? And then you can use a rocket launcher, precision bolt, and super shotgun, right? Like, you can do all that. On PC, that is so simple to do because of key bindings. On console, that shit is not easy. To switch between that many weapons on the fly like that, and keep in mind, while you still have to fight another demon and the adds that are around you. And it's not like they're just sitting still either. So that's the thing about speaking a scenario, is that there's always someone who can type out or speak a way to verbally counter you. But whenever you put that shit to the sticks, when you're really in the game, the demons are not going to just sit there and let you do your bullshit. So there is no definitive answer or way to counter this that we can just discuss in the comments, because somebody can come around, you know, with their big boy pants on and say, well, I beat Mancubus all the time. All you have to do is la da 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 and la da 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 da, and I'm gonna go and do that, and then I'm going to die because it didn't work on that Mancubus. Everyone thinks and plays differently, right? There is never going to be a definitive way to stop something, right? So when you have these Mancubus, Mancubi, when you have these Archviles all around the place, there's now this thing where everything is more shifted in the demon's favor, right? Because you have Pain Elemental and his shield, and that shit's crazy, right? Couple that with his dash, his keep out game, and his getaway game. That's like infinite respawn central. Put that with the Archvile. Now slap a Mancubus as a partner. Wow, you see what I'm saying? That puts Revenant and Marauder just completely out the question. No one's picking them. Like right now, if you're running Revenant and Marauder, unless you're good with them, right? Unless you're good with them and you like know what you're doing, like that's what you do, that's your business, you're more than likely gonna lose. That should not be a thing. Like, you should not have demons that just trump other demons, make other things look useless. If this is all about balance, either buff the other demons with them or do something with them that makes them more useful in their positions. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a really weird place that we're in. You know, this Mancubus thing is really showing me that, like, balancing battle mode might be a little bit harder than we thought. And I just think that the Mancubus needs a rework altogether. I think that the Mancubus doesn't really need any kind of special resistances, but if we can just make him like a cyber Mancubus, right? Because hear me out, this is how it was in Doom 2016, right? Only with a twist, right? So you make him a cyber Mancubus, you give him armor, right? allow him to shoot his his little cannon shots, and allow him to shoot his flamethrower. Only when his flamethrower becomes too hot, he can put it in the ground like he did before with circle, right? And that will allow him to have a defense to force the Slayer off of him. See, there's ways that we can go about doing things like that, and that way he doesn't have to be so strong to accommodate for the fact that he has no defense, none. That is ridiculous. Every demon has a defensive option, from the Revenant and the Marauder having the ability to just be very nimble, dashing and floating around the place, right? From the Pain Elemental and Archvile having a shield, and then the thing with the biggest hitbox and the slowest movement is like, I'm just fucked. You know what I mean? And understand, guys, I'm not speaking from a salty perspective or a complaining perspective. I'm literally speaking about this objectively. I like the Mancubus. I want to see the Mancubus do successfully, but not if it means that he's so strong that by himself he can give the Slayer a run for his money, because that's not even factoring in his teammate. Battle mode is supposed to use communication from the demons, and the way that it's put is that they're supposed to come together to fight one Slayer. So I mean, and this sounds really like grimy, right? But like, it technically means that Slayer is supposed to be stronger than the demons, right? Because if they have to come together to come with a plan and use this communication and these spawns and these summons and these, these traps and all these crazy things they have going on, evidently the Slayer is supposed to be the powerhouse. So they can't have a 2v1 situation where something can by itself 1v1. That's just going to be out the question. There's no competition there. You know what I mean? Not to even fail to mention that there's already demons that can 1v1 the Slayer, like the Archvile. The Archvile can 1v1 the Slayer, and because of his keep out and his getaway, he can harass the Slayer all day. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, of course, Slayer can get his resource. I get the big picture, guys. Trust me. I understand. I'm with you guys completely, but let's just try to be objective about this. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Am I tripping? Like, is there something that I'm missing? Tell me, please, because I just want our competitive mode to be fine whenever we finally get it, right? I'm your boy Glock. God bless you guys. Thank you for giving me the time of day. If you haven't already, please drop a subscribe. Drop a like on the video. It helps me out a lot. And y'all be safe. God bless you.